In the glittering world of Hollywood, where every gesture is scrutinized and every word carries weight, Angelina Jolie has mastered the art of silence. Unlike many of her peers, she doesn't engage in social media spats, cryptic interviews, or staged paparazzi moments. Instead, she speaks sparingly, and when she does, the industry listens. Last week, a single sentence from Jolie at an exclusive Beverly Hills summit sent shockwaves through the entertainment world, targeting none other than Blake Lively. The moment was subtle, almost fleeting, but its impact was undeniable, sparking conversations that continue to ripple across private chats, newsrooms, and fan forums. This wasn't just gossip. It was a clash of values, reputations, and legacies, with Jolie drawing a line that Lively may never cross again. The setting was the Artists for Ethics Summit, a private, invitation-only event held in a discreet Beverly Hills venue. Unlike the glitzy galas that dominate Hollywood's social calendar, this summit was understated, with no live streams, no sponsors, and no social media buzz. Its guest list was carefully curated, 40 individuals, mostly women, who have shaped culture, politics, and art through their work. Jolie, a longtime advocate for humanitarian causes, was the closing speaker, delivering a panel titled "The Cost of Silence in Public Life." Her words were measured, her tone deliberate. She spoke of the responsibility that comes with influence, the dangers of commodifying pain, and the moral weight of advocacy. Then, in a moment that caught everyone off guard, she said, "There's a difference between sharing a story and co-opting someone else's voice while posing for the cameras." No names were mentioned, no accusations were hurled. Yet, the room froze. Attendees later described the atmosphere as electric, with every person instantly understanding the target of Jolie's words: Blake Lively. Just days earlier, Lively had unveiled her latest charitable venture, Homebound, a family wellness initiative aimed at rebuilding communities in conflict zones. On the surface, it was a noble cause, complete with a polished website, a heartfelt video ad, and Lively's signature aesthetic: soft pastels, warm lighting, and carefully curated imagery. She appeared in photos holding hands with displaced women, her smile radiant, her tagline poignant: "Rebuilding what's been broken, one voice at a time." The campaign was meant to position Lively as a compassionate leader, a star, using her platform for good. But there was a problem, one that Jolie, and soon the public, could not ignore. Lively's Homebound initiative bore an uncanny resemblance to Jolie's decades-long work with the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, UNHCR. The tagline, "Rebuilding what's been broken," was lifted verbatim from a 2019 UNHCR campaign co-authored by Jolie and a retired war journalist. The village featured in Lively's promotional materials was one Jolie had supported for over 6 years. Yet Lively's campaign made no mention of her predecessor's efforts. There was no acknowledgement, no collaboration, not even a courtesy notification to the UNHCR or Jolie's team. Insiders later revealed that Jolie was not merely annoyed, but deeply hurt. To her, this wasn't just a case of imitation, it was an act of erasure, a betrayal of the very communities she had dedicated her life to serving. The summit's attendees, many of whom were familiar with Jolie's advocacy, were quick to connect the dots. One anonymous guest, seated just 2 chairs away from Jolie, later told an independent arts journal, "It was like a velvet glove delivering a knockout punch. No one spoke, but we all knew who she meant." The guest went on to explain that Jolie's frustration stemmed not from the similarities in their campaigns, but from Lively's apparent attempt to repackage a sacred cause as a personal branding opportunity. Angelina wasn't upset about the mimicry, the guest said. She was devastated by the idea that someone could borrow her life's work, her voice, and then act as if she didn't exist. The fallout was swift but quiet, as Hollywood controversies often are. Within days, Lively's Homebound campaign began to unravel. The initiative's website went offline for maintenance, the promotional video vanished from social media, and the tagline was scrubbed from all platforms. Lively's Instagram post, captioned "Every Voice Matters," was deleted without explanation. No apology was issued, no statement released. But the internet, as always, was watching. Screenshots of Lively's campaign materials began circulating on Reddit, placed side by side with archival footage of Jolie's UNHCR visits. The similarities were striking. Identical phrases, mirrored image compositions, even the same walk and talk shots with local women. The difference? Jolie's work felt raw, lived in, authentic, while Lively's appeared staged, polished, and performative. Social media erupted. A user on X posted, "Angelina has been in war zones for 20 years, Syria, Cambodia, Congo. Blake Lively did a weekend photo shoot and called it advocacy. This isn't homage, it's appropriation." Another commented, "You can't rebrand someone else's trauma like it's a lifestyle blog. I'm done." The criticism wasn't just about aesthetics, it was about ethics. Lively's campaign was seen as an attempt to capitalize on a cause without doing the groundwork, a move that many felt disrespected, both Jolie and the communities she served. The controversy didn't stay confined to fan forums. Major fashion magazines that had planned to feature Homebound in their upcoming issues quietly pulled the stories. A talk show segment meant to highlight Lively's humanitarian journey was postponed indefinitely. In a subtle but significant move, two prominent actresses, Florence Pugh and Charlize Theron, both known for their international advocacy, unfollowed Lively on Instagram. In an industry where public support is carefully calculated, their actions spoke volumes. Meanwhile, Jolie's longtime creative director added fuel to the fire by reposting her summit quote on his private Instagram story. There's a difference between sharing a story and co-opting someone else's voice while posing for the cameras. No caption, no context. Just a black screen with white text and a message that echoed across Hollywood. To understand the depth of this moment, we need to step back. Jolie's advocacy is not a recent endeavor. In 2015, she launched a groundbreaking UN initiative focused on trauma support for women in war-torn regions. Unlike many celebrity philanthropists, she didn't just lend her name or write a check. She traveled to the ground, met with local organizations, and listened to survivors' stories. That same year, she penned an op-ed titled "When the Cameras Leave," in which she wrote, "The world doesn't change when we post about pain. It changes when we sit with it." The piece became a touchstone in humanitarian circles, quoted in academic papers, advocacy materials, and global summits. Fast forward to 2022, when Lively launched her own empathy-driven charity focused on storytelling. Its tagline, "The world doesn't change when we look away. It changes when we care beautifully." The phrasing was suspiciously close to Jolie's, softened with a pastel aesthetic, but rooted in the same ethos. A leaked brand deck from Lively's team, shared on a Discord server for advocacy students, revealed even more overlaps with Jolie's 2015 op-ed. One observer noted, "They thought changing the font and colors made it original." This was a direct lift from Angelina's work. The parallels didn't end there. In a lifestyle podcast interview just weeks before the Homebound controversy, Lively was asked who inspired her activism. Her response was telling. "So many incredible women, like Reese Witherspoon and Meghan Markle, are doing amazing things. It's inspiring to see women take the lead." Notably absent? Angelina Jolie, the very person whose work Lively's campaigns had mirrored for years. Fans didn't miss the omission. One ex-user wrote, "She named Reese and Megan, but not Angelina. That's not an oversight, that's deliberate." As the backlash grew, a leaked screenshot from a private PR Discord server added another layer to the story. Allegedly from a member of Lively's marketing team, the message read, "Can we get a shot like that Angelina pickin' Jordan, but with softer tones? Think compassionate, but prettier." The intern who shared it, posting anonymously on X, captioned it, "When you try to filter someone else's cause into pastel lighting, don't be surprised when it backfires." The screenshot went viral, with users condemning the attempt to soften the harsh realities of conflict zones into a marketable aesthetic. The controversy took on a life of its own when Natalie Portman, known for her selective social media presence, followed Jolie on Instagram. 2 days later, she posted a cryptic quote to her story. "Legacy isn't about being seen. It's about what remains when you're no longer looking." The message was clear, and fans were quick to interpret it as a nod to Jolie's authenticity over Lively's polished persona. At a Women in Film event in Berlin, Portman was caught on video responding to a question about protecting authentic advocacy. "The world is learning to tell the difference," she said with a knowing smile. The clip spread like wildfire, with one ex-user declaring, "Natalie just ended a career with 11 seconds of shade." Jolie, meanwhile, remained silent, letting her words and actions speak for themselves. A resurfaced clip from a 2016 human rights campaign shoot offered a haunting perspective. Speaking off camera, Jolie warned, "When people treat advocacy like a trend, something gets lost. The real stories, the hard truths, the discomfort." She paused, looked directly at the lens, and added, "Those who mimic the language of empathy the best are often the ones who feel it the least." The clip, unused in the final campaign, exploded on TikTok, with fans hailing it as a prescient warning. The final blow came not from Jolie, but from Lively's past. A 2011 behind-the-scenes clip from Gossip Girl resurfaced, in which a young Lively, asked for a quote she lived by, replied, "If you look the part, you'll get the part." At the time, it was a playful remark, but in 2025, juxtaposed with Jolie's raw advocacy and Lively's polished campaign, it felt damning. A TikTok edit stitched the clip with footage of Jolie in war zones and Lively's homebound trailers, captioned, "When you mistake performance for purpose." It garnered 3.2 million views in a single day. The saga reached its peak at the UN Women's Summit in April 2025, where Jolie delivered a closing speech that shifted the narrative entirely. Instead of addressing global conflict as expected, she spoke about silence, not as weakness, but as power. "Some wear suffering like a costume and call it activism," she said. "But those who've lived it don't need to perform." The room, filled with diplomats and advocates, understood the subtext. Lively's name was never mentioned, but the message was unmistakable. The speech went viral, replayed on news channels, referenced in late-night shows, and even parodied on Saturday Night Live. One ex-post summed it up. She didn't say Blake Lively, but she said Blake Lively. In the wake of Jolie's speech, Lively's public presence shrank. She canceled podcast appearances, withdrew from a Women in Media Summit panel, and paused her weekly homebound Instagram updates. Her silence was deafening, and in that void, the internet found its voice. Fan pages that once celebrated Lively's aesthetic began sharing Jolie's quote instead. One comment captured the shift. "You can't pose beside pain and expect to be seen as powerful, not when the women who lived it are finally speaking." It was April 2025, and the air was thick with anticipation. Sydney Sweeney had just wrapped a bold new project alongside Ryan Reynolds, a film called Glass Chapel. This wasn't your typical blockbuster. It was a daring monochrome romance thriller, stripped of a soundtrack, built on hushed dialogue and pregnant pauses. Ryan portrayed a widower haunted by loss, while Sydney played the enigmatic woman who stirred memories he'd buried deep. Netflix had poured millions into this Oscar contender, banking on its raw emotion and star power. The promotional tour had been a triumph, standing ovations in Paris, glowing reviews, and a buzz that promised award season glory. But on the flight back from Europe, something shifted. Sydney wasn't trying to overhear. On those exclusive studio-chartered flights, the atmosphere is strange, intimate yet guarded, where every word feels amplified in the pressurized cabin. Seated a few rows behind Ryan, she caught fragments of a conversation not meant for her ears. Ryan was speaking to his producer, his voice low but sharp. "She's not just a partner, she's a business deal," he said, his tone heavy with frustration. The producer laughed softly. "You married the empire, man." Ryan didn't laugh back. "You don't get it. It's all a performance, the perfect image, the constant control. You're not living with a person, you're living with a brand she built." The words hung in the air, raw and unguarded. Sydney froze, her breath shallow. This wasn't playful banter or a fleeting gripe. This was a man unraveling under the weight of a meticulously crafted public persona, one tied to his wife, Blake Lively. Sydney didn't react. She didn't turn her head or scribble notes. She just sat there, processing the weight of what she'd heard. A glimpse behind the curtain of a marriage sold to the world as a fairy tale. The seat beside her was empty, and no one noticed her stillness. But in Hollywood, secrets have a way of slipping through the cracks. When the plane touched down in New York, something had already changed. Sydney felt it before she saw it. The energy around her shifted, like a tide pulling back before a wave. The signs were subtle at first. Her phone, usually buzzing with updates from her team, grew quieter. Invitations to press events dwindled. A high-profile Apple TV Plus series her agent had secured vanished from her schedule. No explanation, no follow-up. Sydney initially chalked it up to the chaos of post-production schedules. But then came a call from a trusted director she'd worked with years earlier. His voice was cautious, almost apologetic. "I need you to hear this from me," he said. He'd been in a casting meeting where her name surfaced for a new limited series. The room fell silent. Someone from the studio murmured about a conflict flag tied to her name, citing private conduct concerns and high discretion risk. Sydney pressed for details, but he had none. "It's not official," he said, "but it's personal." The pieces clicked into place. This wasn't about missed deadlines or creative differences. This was about the flight. Someone knew Sydney had overheard Ryan's candid words, and someone wanted to ensure she stayed silent, without ever admitting why. There was no confrontation, no formal accusation, just a shadow cast over her reputation. Sydney didn't speak out. She didn't call her publicist or vent to her team. Instead, she liked a single tweet that read, "The quiet ones are always the ones they fear most." It was cryptic, untraceable, but it lit a spark. That small action became the ember that would ignite a firestorm. If you're enjoying this deep dive into Hollywood's hidden games, consider joining our channel as a member. Your support keeps us digging for the stories no one else dares to tell. The fallout was gradual, but relentless. A stylist Sydney had collaborated with for years missed a scheduled call. A Dior campaign, already greenlit, sent a vague email about rescheduling. A former co-star, someone she'd considered a close ally, left her messages unanswered for weeks. No arguments, no public spats, just absence. Then came a meeting that clarified everything. It wasn't an official summit, just a casual brunch at a tucked-away cafe in Studio City, arranged by a casting assistant Sydney had known since her early audition days. The assistant didn't waste time. "You've upset someone powerful," she said, her eyes scanning the room. "They think you spilled something from that flight." Sydney's heart sank. She hadn't said a word, hadn't hinted at what she'd heard. But in an industry where perception is currency, the truth matters less than the story being told. If Blake Lively wanted Sydney sidelined, it wouldn't be through lawsuits or press conferences. It would be through whispers, soft, insidious, and impossible to trace. Sydney's name began to fade from the spotlight. Talk show appearances were canceled with flimsy excuses like technical difficulties. A late-night host who'd filmed a segment with her never aired it. An intern from the production crew posted a fleeting TikTok captioned, "When the execs say we can't have Blake's rivals on our set." The post was deleted within hours, but the damage was done. Sydney's agency was in crisis mode. She wasn't blacklisted in the traditional sense, no formal memo or industry-wide ban. But her name was no longer a draw. It was a liability. Then came the email that confirmed her suspicions. Sent from an anonymous account, it contained a leaked casting memo. One sentence stood out. "Sydney Sweeney is considered a high-risk booking due to offset instability and unresolved discretion concerns." Sydney stared at the screen, not shocked but resolute. They weren't just erasing her. They were rewriting her story, framing her as unreliable without evidence. And they weren't afraid to let her know it. The premiere of Glass Chapel was supposed to be Sydney's moment. She'd chosen a breathtaking gown, custom designed with shimmering metallic fabric, sharp shoulders, and a nod to classic Hollywood with a modern twist. Her team had secured her a prime spot on the red carpet, walking alongside Ryan, her name prominent in the press materials. But when the studio car arrived, the driver handed her an envelope. Inside was a guest wristband, not a premiere pass. No red carpet, no interviews, just a seat in the audience. Her manager called the studio, who blamed a last-minute logistical shuffle, and Ryan's solo press focus. Sydney wasn't naive. This wasn't a scheduling error. This was a demotion. She made a choice that night. She didn't attend. The next morning, photos flooded social media. Ryan, radiant in tailored Armani, stepping out of a gleaming SUV alone. The captions praised his triumphant return, with no mention of Sydney. Her glam team was stunned. One stylist posted a now-deleted Instagram story. 4 hours perfecting a look no one got to see. Heartbreaking. Sydney didn't cry or rage. She stayed home, uninvited from the film she'd poured her heart into. But the internet noticed. A leaked guest list surfaced, her name conspicuously absent. Fans began to question the narrative. One tweet, comparing early press materials featuring Sydney to the final versions where she'd been erased, went viral. She was the co-lead. Where is she? The morning after the premiere, Sydney's name was trending, not for her talent or her absence, but for a new narrative. Blake Lively posted a carefully curated photo. Ryan at the Glass Chapel premiere, smiling, with Blake digitally inserted beside him from a separate shoot. The caption read, "So proud of my partner, always telling stories that move us." It wasn't tagged with the film's hashtag, and Sydney's name was nowhere to be found. But the message was clear. Within hours, entertainment outlets ran stories with headlines like, "Ryan and Blake shine at premiere," and "Blake skips carpet but steals the show." One article claimed Sydney had chosen to step back for personal reasons, a lie she'd never endorsed. The smear campaign gained traction. Online chatter painted Sydney as erratic, unable to handle the pressures of fame. A blind item on a gossip site didn't name her, but didn't need to. This rising star with striking features and big dreams just learned you don't challenge a publicity titan. One overheard conversation, and she's out of the elite circle. Sydney's agency grew distant, their responses vague and guarded. Then came an unexpected meeting. A Zoom call with her agent, a Netflix executive, a lawyer, and a PR consultant she didn't recognize. They offered a deal, a payout, a vague creative contributor credit, and an 18-month non-disclosure agreement. All she had to do was sign. Sydney paused, the weight of the moment pressing down. "Was this Blake's idea?" she asked. The PR consultant smiled but didn't answer. "This ensures everyone moves forward smoothly," she said. Sydney's response was calm but firm. "I'm not signing." She ended the call. Hours later, her name was officially stripped from Glass Chapel's marketing. No credit, no mention, just gone. A gossip account on X posted, "Heard an actress turn down a hush deal. Bad move when all you needed was a signature. Ego's a career killer." Blake's stylist liked the post, then quickly deleted it. But screenshots spread like wildfire. Sydney didn't retaliate with a statement or a social media tirade. She stayed silent, and that silence became her power. A chance sighting at the Polo Lounge in Beverly Hills changed everything. A blurry photo captured her having lunch with Reese Witherspoon, a Hollywood veteran known for navigating her own battles with grace and strategy. The caption was simple: "Is Sydney Sweeney teaming up with Reese?" The image exploded online, fueled by memories of Reese's own quiet victories against industry giants. Speculation swirled. Was Reese mentoring Sydney? Within days, rumors surfaced of a new Apple TV Plus series, a female-led indie project with Sydney in early talks. No contracts were signed, but the whispers were enough to shift the narrative. Blake's team stayed quiet, but Blake posted a cryptic Instagram story, a sunset, a glass of sparkling water, and a reposted quote, "Some seek truth, others trade it." It felt defensive, almost desperate. Fans weren't buying it. Sydney's supporters began posting side-by-side images, one from Glass Chapel's early press, showing her alongside Ryan, and another from the premiere where she'd been erased. The caption read, "She was there, they just cut her out." The post garnered tens of thousands of shares, sparking fan-made videos and hashtags like "number she didn't sign." The movement wasn't loud, but it was undeniable. The industry began to take notice. Stylists and makeup artists quietly reposted Sydney's past looks, tagging her in subtle shows of support. In an unrelated interview, Zendaya was asked about women in Hollywood wielding influence. Her response was measured but pointed. If someone's silence scares you, it's because you know what they're holding back. It wasn't about Sydney, but the subtext was clear. Blake's PR team tried to pivot, pitching stories about her new artistic chapter, but editors passed. Blake posted another quote, "You can't control others' beliefs, only your peace." It backfired, with comments flooding in. "She didn't sign." By late April, Glass Chapel was slipping from Netflix's top ranks, its buzz overshadowed by the controversy. Investors started asking questions. A studio exec called Ryan, citing declining metrics in regions where Sydney's name had tested strongly. "This is becoming a problem," the exec said. Ryan's response was terse. "This wasn't my call." The exec didn't hold back. "Then you shouldn't have spoken on that flight." A leaked transcript of the call spread online, painting Ryan as rattled, out of his depth. A blurry set photo from his next project showed him pacing, phone in hand, with the caption, "I've never seen him this quiet." The final blow came unexpectedly. Blake had scheduled a high-profile interview to reclaim the narrative, a soft focus piece on family, career, and moving forward. The journalist, known for polishing tarnished reputations, had the story ready, but Blake didn't show. Her team cited a change in plans, offering no reschedule. The journalist published anyway, crafting a piece that didn't name Blake but dissected the tactics of image control with surgical precision. It was a mirror Blake couldn't escape. Sydney, meanwhile, was back at work, not on a glitzy soundstage, but in rural North Carolina, filming an untitled indie project executive produced by Nicole Kidman. The story? A woman rebuilding after an unseen battle. Sydney didn't promote it, didn't post. She just worked. A tweet from a lesser-known actress went viral. The woman they tried to silence didn't even speak. She just listened, and they still lost control. Sydney didn't win with a press conference or a viral clapback. She won by standing still, letting the industry's own machinery turn against itself. In the end, there were no lawsuits, no public feuds, just a missing name on a marquee and a hashtag that refused to fade. Ryan's next project was quietly postponed, and Blake's branding deals cooled. her PR agency parted ways, citing creative differences. Sydney, backed by allies like Reese and Nicole, kept moving forward. Hollywood learned a lesson. You can't mute someone who doesn't need to speak. When Sydney refused to sign that NDA, she didn't just defy a contract. She dismantled a cycle, and in her silence, she spoke louder than anyone expected. If this story resonated with you, hit that like button and share it with your friends. Let's keep shining a light on the stories that matter. Subscribe and become a member to support our mission of uncovering the truth behind the glamour. Together, we'll keep Hollywood honest. Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds shine amid ongoing legal challenges. On a crisp Tuesday evening in New York City, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds stepped out hand in hand, radiating resilience and unity despite the swirling legal drama involving Justin Baldoni. The couple, known for their charm and strong partnership, put on a confident display as they navigated the bustling streets, seemingly unaffected by the latest developments in their high-profile lawsuit. Their appearance came hot on the heels of Marvel's recent court filing, which sought to distance the company from the legal battle tied to the Deadpool and Wolverine character Nicepool, a role that has sparked significant controversy. A stylish outing in the Big Apple Blake Lively, the 37-year-old Gossip Girl star, turned heads in a chic ensemble that perfectly blended sophistication with modern flair. She wore a sleek black leather top with ruched detailing at the hem, paired with matching tailored trousers that accentuated her statuesque frame. Her outfit was elevated by a pair of embellished silver pumps that added a touch of glamour, while a vibrant multicolored purse served as a playful accessory to carry essentials for the evening. Lively's blonde hair cascaded in soft waves, framing her radiant smile as she strolled alongside her husband. Ryan Reynolds, ever the dapper counterpart, opted for a polished yet relaxed look. He sported tan trousers, a white button-up shirt with subtle stripes, and a rich burgundy jacket that added a pop of color to his ensemble. The couple, who exchanged vows in 2012, exuded warmth and affection. Their intertwined hands a subtle yet powerful statement of solidarity amid the ongoing legal storm. Their smiles and easy demeanor suggested a deliberate effort to rise above the controversy, focusing instead on their shared strength and mutual support. The legal battle intensifies. The couple's public appearance followed a significant development in their legal dispute with Justin Baldoni, Lively's co-star and director in the film It Ends With Us. Last Friday, Marvel filed a motion with the court, requesting to be removed from the lawsuit and to quash the subpoena issued by Baldoni's legal team, known as the Wayfarer Parties, according to People. The subpoena sought documents related to the creation and portrayal of the Nicepool character in Deadpool and Wolverine, a role played by Reynolds that Baldoni has claimed was used to mock him. In the blockbuster film, Nicepool is a comedic variant of Deadpool, characterized by a distinctive man bun, a hairstyle Baldoni has sported in the past. The character makes light-hearted comments about Lady Pool, played by Lively, praising her appearance and referencing her recent childbirth. These remarks have been interpreted by some as veiled jabs at Baldoni, who has previously identified as a feminist and faced scrutiny over his conduct on the It Ends With Us set. Lively, who welcomed her fourth child with Reynolds before filming the movie, alleged in her lawsuit that Baldoni made inappropriate comments about her body and weight, contributing to a strained working environment. Marvel's court filing emphasized the company's desire to protect its confidential documents and avoid entanglement in the dispute. The studio requested a protective order to prevent the disclosure of sensitive materials and proposed delaying the subpoena's return date until the court rules on Reynolds' motion to dismiss Baldoni's counterclaims. In response, Baldoni's legal team fired back on Monday, arguing that Marvel failed to engage in good faith discussions to resolve the issue. According to People, Baldoni's lawyers claimed that Marvel's counsel dismissed their attempts to address concerns about the subpoena's scope, focusing instead on narrowing the document requests without meaningful dialogue. The legal back and forth has kept the controversy in the headlines, with both sides digging in as the case unfolds. For Lively and Reynolds, the public scrutiny has been relentless. Yet their recent outing suggests a determination to maintain a positive front, while the court sort out the complex claims and counterclaims. Blake Lively's busy promotional schedule. Earlier that Tuesday, Lively was spotted in New York City promoting her upcoming film, Another Simple Favor, the highly anticipated sequel to the 2018 thriller comedy A Simple Favor. She made a stylish appearance at L'Antica, an Italian pizzeria in the West Village, where she was joined by director Paul Feig and co-star Lorenzo de Moore. Lively embraced the occasion with a thematic flair, carrying a sparkling pizza-shaped purse that complemented her sleeveless black tweed vest and loose-fitting trousers. Her silver pumps, adorned with spiky embellishments, added an edgy touch, while gold and turquoise bracelets brought a hint of bohemian charm to the look. At the pizzeria, Lively was all smiles, waving to fans and savoring a slice of pizza as she mingled with co-stars, including Michelle Morone. Her radiant makeup, featuring a warm blush and glossy nude lip, enhanced her natural glow, making her the center of attention. The event was part of a packed promotional tour for Another Simple Favor, set to premiere on Amazon Prime Video on May 1st, 2025. The film promises to deliver the same blend of mystery, humor, and style that made its predecessor a hit, with Lively reprising her role alongside Anna Kendrick and other talented actors. Later that day, Lively switched up her outfit for another appearance in Chinatown, showcasing her versatility and fashion-forward sensibility. She donned a cropped black tank top that revealed her midriff, paired with a fitted skirt adorned with chunky embellishments. Black heels with silver-studded details completed the ensemble, and Lively's confident smile underscored her ability to juggle a demanding schedule while navigating personal and professional challenges. A star-studded premiere and family support, Lively's promotional efforts culminated in the New York City premiere of Another Simple Favor on Sunday, where she was joined by Reynolds and her family, including her sister Lori, mother Willie Elaine McAlpin, sister Robin, brother-in-law Bart Johnson, and their daughter Isabella Ferrer. The star-studded event drew significant attention, not only for the film, but also for the dynamics among the cast, particularly between Lively and co-star Anna Kendrick. At the premiere, Lively and Kendrick posed together on the red carpet, with Lively draping an arm over Kendrick's shoulders as they smiled for photographers. However, their interaction fueled speculation about a rumored feud, which has been a topic of discussion since earlier this year. The tension reportedly stems from Lively's ongoing legal battle with Baldoni, which some sources claim has overshadowed the promotion of Another Simple Favor. Kendrick, known for her roles in Pitch Perfect and Twilight, has faced questions about her working relationship with Lively, often responding with vague or humorous deflections. During a red carpet interview with Variety at the premiere, Kendrick sidestepped a question about how everything going on in the world has affected the film, quipping, "Why? What happened?" Quippy, "I did ayahuasca, and the last year of my life is just gone." She quickly pivoted to praise the movie before walking away, leaving reporters and fans speculating about her stance. Similarly, at a promotional event, when asked about working with Lively again, Kendrick offered a brief, "Oh, you know," before turning her attention to fans, further fueling rumors of strained relations. Despite the speculation, a source close to the production told E! News that there is no drama between Lively and Kendrick. The insider described the actresses as co-workers, friends, and get along well, emphasizing their shared excitement about promoting the film alongside the rest of the cast. The source's comments suggest that any perceived tension may be overstated, with the actresses focused on delivering a successful sequel to their fans. A wardrobe mishap sparks social media buzz. While the premiere was a glamorous affair, Lively found herself at the center of social media chatter due to an unfortunate wardrobe malfunction. She wore a fitted light blue gown with cutouts and a semi-sheer skirt, a bold choice that highlighted her impeccable style. However, some eagle-eyed fans noticed that body makeup had rubbed off onto the armpit area of the dress, prompting a flurry of comments online. "The body makeup on the side of the corset," one Instagram user remarked, while another noted, "Unfortunate armpit spray tan on the dress." Others chimed in with, "Oh no, can't unsee it. And the self-tanner pit stains on Blake's dress are a nice touch. Despite the lighthearted mockery, Lively's poise and confidence remained unshaken, and she continued to shine throughout the event, supported by Reynolds and her family. Reputation expert Sarah Schmidt, president of Interdependence, weighed in on the couple's high-profile appearance, telling DailyMail.com, "When the headlines get heavy, love becomes a very convenient distraction. Blake and Ryan turning up the PDA right now isn't random." Schmidt described their affectionate display as a classic Hollywood play, to shift focus from the lawsuit to their enduring love story. However, she cautioned that audiences are perceptive, and overly staged affection could backfire if it feels inauthentic. For now, the couple's united front appears to be providing Lively with some breathing room amid the legal storm. Navigating public scrutiny and industry events, Lively's return to the spotlight has been gradual but deliberate, with recent appearances at high-profile events signaling her resilience. Last week, she attended the Time 100 Gala in New York City, rubbing shoulders with industry leaders and celebrities. However, her presence at the event drew criticism from journalist Megyn Kelly, who told DailyMail.com, "It's a ridiculous joke. She shouldn't be here." Kelly referenced Lively's lawsuit against Baldoni, expressing skepticism about the allegations and suggesting that the actress's claims have not held up under scrutiny. The comments added another layer of complexity to Lively's public narrative as she balances professional commitments with personal challenges. Despite the criticism, Lively remains focused on her career and family. Her upcoming appearance on Late Night with Seth Meyers on Thursday marks her return to the talk show circuit, where she is expected to discuss another simple favor and share insights into her latest projects. As a mother of 4, Lively has mastered the art of juggling her roles as an actress, producer, and parent, all while maintaining a strong partnership with Reynolds. The bigger picture, Hollywood dynamics and public perception. The ongoing saga involving Lively, Reynolds, and Baldoni highlights the complexities of navigating personal and professional disputes in the public eye. Hollywood has long been a stage for high-stakes dramas, where legal battles, creative differences, and public relations strategies intersect. For Lively and Reynolds, their ability to project unity and resilience is a testament to their experience in the industry, where image and narrative are carefully crafted. The Deadpool and Wolverine controversy, in particular, underscores the challenges of satire and creative expression in film. The Nicepool character, with its playful jabs and meta humor, is emblematic of the Deadpool franchise's irreverent tone. However, Baldoni's claims that the character was used to mock him have raised questions about the line between artistic license and personal targeting. As the courts weigh the legal arguments, the dispute serves as a case study in how creative decisions can have far-reaching implications. Similarly, the rumored tension between Lively and Kendrick reflects the pressures of ensemble casts, where individual narratives can clash with collective goals. While the actresses' professional rapport may be intact, the public's fascination with their dynamic illustrates the power of perception in shaping celebrity narratives. As Another Simple Favor prepares to hit streaming platforms, the focus will likely shift to the film's reception, offering Lively and Kendrick an opportunity to redirect the conversation to their on-screen chemistry. Looking ahead, as Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds continue to navigate the legal and media landscape, their public appearances serve as a reminder of their enduring star power. Lively's promotional tour for Another Simple Favor showcases her versatility as an actress and fashion icon, while her partnership with Reynolds reinforces their status as one of Hollywood's most beloved couples. The legal battle with Baldoni remains unresolved, but the couple's ability to rise above the noise suggests a strategic approach to managing their public image. With Another Simple Favor set to premiere on May 1st, 2025, Lively is poised to reclaim the spotlight on her terms, delivering a performance that blends wit, charm, and intrigue. As she and Reynolds face the challenges ahead, their shared resilience and mutual support will undoubtedly guide them through the storm, proving that even in the face of adversity, love and determination can shine through.